What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a scenario where civilization starts over in Europe. And as we saw in last episode, World War II broke out, and Germany came back to power, and Greece got even bigger. So, without further ado, let's get into today's video. So, I've had some ideas for today's video. So, as we saw, Poland got absolutely oofed in that war. There's actually 3 Polands now. There's North Poland, there's Poland, and there's South Poland. The North Poland is mainly Russian occupied, like the Russian puppet state, you could say. And then you have South Poland, which is kind of like a Greek occupation zone or Greek puppet. And then Poland itself is kind of just its own country, but it's also kind of German controlled, as you could say. So Germany got the biggest part of Poland. And we saw Russia betray Poland. Actually, I still am yet to delete the Triangle Alliance. I should probably do that real quick. But so as we know, a lot has happened in World War II. The Triangle Alliance got dissolved. I don't know when I put the Austrian country in the Triangle Alliance, but anyway. So all of this got dissolved. Finland was really the only one who didn't get oofed in that war. Lithuania still has its government, but it still got oofed. Lithuania still has its government. Ukraine got oofed, doesn't have the same government. Poland has a different government now. Finland has the same government. Finland was probably the least affected. Of course, they lost some land, but they weren't that bad affected. I mean, they had, this land here. So, I mean, they definitely lost land, but it wasn't that bad compared to the other countries. So, speaking of Finland, though, there hasn't been much going on with Finland lately. So Finland is going to actually explore a bit, because since they did just lose some land, they would like to get a little bit of land, Most of the countries that lost the war are not allowed to expand right now. They're prohibited, or however you pronounce that word, from expanding. They're not allowed to expand. So, but Finland was not one of those countries. Some of the countries are allowed to expand. So, I don't know, maybe we'll see the countries breaking that treaty. Poland is not allowed to expand. Lithuania is kind of allowed to expand to some extent, but not really. Poland can't expand because they're kind of trapped. But yeah, Finland can. They just kind of got oofed. So Finland does expand a little bit. Going across the Russian border, they actually come down. I'm going to let Russia have this little piece right here. I think that was already Russian in the first place. Anyway, they're going to come here, take this land. They're pretty much just going to take all of this land around the lake, and border Russia. They're almost just trying to, of course, this land appears not as important as the land they lost in the war, because this land is less valuable because it's colder and more frozen up here, but they're still gonna take it anyway, because they know Russia will probably take it sooner rather than later. And speaking of Russia, they do take what's left of what Finland took. English has stopped working. Anyway, Russia actually does expand further down this coastline here and whatnot. Nothing much, just a little bit of expansion. Excuse me. Actually, something kind of crazy happens. So, nothing has happened really with this area lately, so I'm actually gonna have some exploration down here. So, a lot of Spain and Portugal mainly Spain gets discovered. They already knew it was there, but, they just kind of started exploring the area. So, this country here, haven't really touched this country in a while. They've just kind of been neutral throughout all the wars. They expand. Whoops. Anyway, they expand a bit into Spain, down this coastline, and they kind of just chillax for a minute. This French country, which is kind of like really similar to real life, which I kind of want to change because my viewers don't like that I have some real life borders. France wasn't really on purpose. Not that other things are on purpose either, but France was just that's just kind of how I had France. But anyway, let's draw some new borders real quick. So we have the French and Spanish border. I'm just going to call that country the Spanish country. Okay, there we go. Anyway, I'm going to call this country, the gray country, the Spanish country, because that's kind of what it is. Just going to go ahead and draw some of these borders real quick, especially the one up here with Russia and Finland. They have a really long border now. Even though Finland, this area is frozen up here, they still use a lot of this area. A lot of population may not be up here, but they're going to use this area for, like, factories and stuff like that, because they're starting to develop guns and stuff like that. So, I mean, the industry is growing rapidly. Lots of new technology and whatnot is being discovered. So, they're going to start, that's what they mainly wanted that land for, is to have more factories, because even though Poland is, like, pro-German now, they're going to attempt to, one day, try to bring Poland back. So, because they're kind of like the last stand, besides Lithuania. Lithuania is still there, but, like, most of their stuff got destroyed. They still have a pretty decent-sized navy, considering they kind of lost. They were able to kind of keep some of their navy, so their navy's still good, but their army absolutely sucks. And Germany is starting to, like, invent the first planes, so, yeah. But yeah, the Lithuanian army sucks. Of course, there's no air force, but, the navy is still not too bad. So, really, Finland and Lithuania are, like, the last stands, but Lithuania kind of can't do anything, so. But yeah, we see some Greek expansion up into, the Italian peninsula, finally. They haven't expanded up here in a while, but they expanded here, and we actually see a new country forming, which we haven't had a lot of new countries forming lately, so I'm gonna try to get some more countries formed. This dark kind of green country, blue country, whatever, they form up here by, like, I guess where Rome would technically be, just along the coastline. Let me go ahead and add the major cities. I believe this is 4 pixels for the major cities. And then let's go to here. So, and then we have the capital, which I think, yeah, okay, it's definitely 4 pixels. So capitals is 6 pixels. Okay, so the capital is going to just be right in the middle there. But yeah, we see just a new country forming, which is pretty cool, because we haven't had a new country form in a while. Speaking of the country, though, or not this country, but there's this purple country up here, used to be part of Germany. They were not involved in the war. They kind of don't care for Germany anymore. They actually are kind of happy that they're independent, so they're going to attempt to expand down into Italy and expand into other areas to try to gain some more power, because they're afraid that Germany may try to take them back one day, and eventually conquer all their old lands, which Germany has done a very good job at doing. Of course, we know they took back this area to connect to East Prussia again, how they used to have at the beginning of the series. Technically, they had this country, the purple country here. They had Austria, which they took back, and then they had like the coast of Bosnia right here, but Bosnia is in their alliance now, and Bosnia is strong. It was not like Bosnia. If you remember, it used to be like super tiny, just like a little coastline country like that. So, but as we know, they've expanded a lot. So, but yeah, this country, the purple country, expands quite a bit. And actually, another new country forms. So I'm just gonna keep forming countries, because why not, right? This orange colored country forms along this coastline. As we know, a lot of the countries that do form usually start on the coastline for the most part. So this one comes along the coastline. Pretty big forming country, but it's fine. Let's put some major cities on it, or a few major cities, not many. Okay, so we got 1, 2, and then 3. And then a capital. Oh, guys, let me know, too. I was thinking about this, and I know this is what if civilization started over in Europe, but let me know if I should add, like, an America, like a North America map to the series. Like, it wouldn't be a what if civilization started over for the whole world, because that's the reason I didn't do a whole world map, because these countries would have only been a few pixels, so it wouldn't have been that good. But if I do a separate map for specifically America to have, like, colonies there and stuff, just let me know, because maybe that'd be pretty cool. But anyway, yeah, that orange country forms. What should we do next? Okay, I think another Spanish country should also form too. We have a lot of countries forming this video, or this episode. This one, unlike those other countries forming on the coastline, forms kind of right in the middle of the land. So they're just kind of a blob. Actually, they do border this gray country here. But yes, they're mainly a blob. That's what a lot of the countries are at first. We'll also add some major cities to, okay, just making sure that wasn't on the major cities layer, don't want that. Anyway, we'll add 2 major cities to this one, which one of them will be a capital, and we'll add, like, 2, 3 more to this one. The capital, this one will actually be, close to the tan country, or not tan, that's like gray, never mind. We're actually gonna see the Turkish country right here, expanding not much, just a little bit, to the east, not that little, they're gonna expand a little more than that, but just a little bit of an eastern expansion, a little bit in the south too, I guess, right here, just to expand their coastline a bit. As we know, the Circle Alliance is the strongest alliance right now. We're actually going to see a new alliance forming between these 3 countries because, as we know, the Germans may have some interest in taking this country back here, so this country is going to form an alliance with these countries. The Star. I don't know if I really like having a Star Alliance, but because it's harder to draw, but whatever. Alright, so the Star Alliance will form. Make sure to have that. There we go. That's a bit better now. I can tell it's a star. Better. I'll just expand that country a bit. So the Star Alliance forms. This alliance is kind of like the Italian alliance, you know? Or Mediterranean alliance. That would be a cooler name. Surprisingly, too, this country is going to join, because this country has been a rising power, for sure, because, as you can tell, they're pretty big. I know they're recently expanded here, but they were a pretty big country at first anyway, so they're going to join the Mediterranean alliance, because they're on the Mediterranean. Technically, they invited Greece to it, but Greece didn't really respond, because they're already with the Germans, so, anyway, though, we're going to see a war. I know this, I just kind of jumped right into that. We're going to see a war break out. So, Benelux and France have been on good conditions lately. So, they were, the Beneluxian queen had visited France's capital, which is like, I guess, Paris, you could just say. And the Beneluxian queen was assassinated. So Benelux is going to blame France on it but France denies it at all cost, and in reality, it actually was not France, but Benelux is going to declare war, and it's surprising to everybody because they were on really good terms. They didn't have an official alliance, but they were on really good terms. But Benelux immediately takes the upper hand right here and takes this entire northern piece of France. And whatchamacallit, so Germany was like, what the heck, whatever. So yeah, so France is immediately shocked, and France sends men to the border. France sends men to the border. Benelux is absolutely destroying France because they were ready. They were prepared for something like this to happen, although they weren't sure if it would or not. But they were prepared. In reality, the person who assassinated the Beneluxian queen was, I don't know. Who should it be? Let me know down in the comments. That'll be you guys' suggestion. I don't know. Well, it'll be a mystery for now. Anyway, Benelux takes that city until the French armies finally come in and push back Benelux a bit. However, this country, unless you guys want this country to be the one who assassinated the queen, this country did not do anything unless you guys want it to be this country. This country did not do anything, but they're gonna join the Beneluxian side to gain some lands from France, even though they have plenty of area to expand in Spain, which I'll just go ahead and do that. They want some land from France, so, because there's an important, let's say this southern part of France and down is a lot of industrial areas, so this is, not Benelux, the Spanish country wants that, they want that stuff, so they expand up into here too to start kind of another front, I guess. But actually, real quick, I'm gonna go ahead and go on the border layer and just make the border a little bit bigger so I know what is where. We'll just kind of make a quick guess. There we go. Anyway, France was kind of not expecting this, but luckily they had a little bit of troops down here. Not many, but just a few to kind of stop the advance just a little bit. France advances back up to try to recapture the city, but they are unsuccessful because, well, yeah. Benelux is stronger than they thought. So, they do end up pushing them back up here, though, and actually making a bit of advancement into here. We see a surprising person also join the war on the side of France. There's no reason for this, but they're more power hungry and land hungry. Prussia joins the war on the side of France and immediately, or actually no, you know what? They're not on the side of France. They're a third party. They immediately go right into Benelux with troops on the border, and the Beneluxian army retreats out of France quickly, very quickly. France closes the gap in. Germany comes in, and they cut off Benelux from from their army. So now Benelux is pretty much cooked. Germany starts an offensive up here to take northern Benelux and stuff, and then Germany advances down here and into France, where the Benelux armies are, and starts to advance into French armies too, advancing into French cities. As Benelux completely falls, their capital falls, blah, 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 okay? You get the point. So Benelux pretty much surrenders for the most part. And France asked if Germany could just stop and they could have the lands that they've taken. Germany agrees to that with an exception of some lands on the border right here. And that'll be the end to this war. And I'll get into the peace treaty. Alright, so in this peace treaty, we could see that, I kind of forgot about this real quick. I'll just, oh my gosh. Hold on, I'll keep this part in the recording. I kind of forgot about, as soon as I zoomed out, I noticed it. Not a big deal, I just gotta delete the border here. But yeah, in this peace treaty, you could see that, Germany gained some land. Give me 1 second. My bad. Totally forgot that Spain joined the Spanish country joined the war here. Okay. There we go, that's that. Anyway, as you can see, I kind of forgot to draw that border too. What am I doing, bro? How can I forget to draw an entire border? Anyway, there we go. So that border's there, finally. As you can see in this peace treaty, bro, can I just get to the peace treaty, please? Anyway, I guess this is on the main layer. As you can see, in this peace treaty, we have Germany fully annexing what would be the Netherlands today. So Benelux pretty much just got toast. Or, they just turned into toast. This is like a German puppet thingy right here. As you can see, Germany was mainly aiming for the coastline. They already have a big coastline, but they wanted more to be able to dominate the North and the Baltic Sea. So, the only person really standing in their way is Denmark, but Denmark can't really do much. Their navy is kind of, everything with Denmark is kind of limited. However, before we end this video off, we see the first testing of the first ever plane, or the first ever, like, they invented planes, there was prototypes, they worked, but they're testing the first ever warplane. They have 2 designs. They have a fighter, smaller plane, and then they have bombers to bomb things, bombers. This testing goes successful as they go ahead and bomb a Polish city. Don't ask me why. That's just what they went for. And Poland can't really do anything about that. They're a bit mad, but, but they can't really do anything about it. So we see some bombing. Pretty successful around the city. The bombs go away. So they also had to invent the first bomb. So the bomber was very successful. They bombed the area. They also tested it in the ocean, which they weren't successful in the ocean, but they're going to make dedicated bombs for ships. And they bomb these areas too. But anyway, the fighter is also able to carry a bomb, but it's too small to be able to actually see. So both of Germany's planes are successful. They give Greece some blueprints. Greece kind of follows along with them, because they want some planes too. And now Lithuania and Finland are working to also invent planes, which they already have a few prototypes, but we won't see them really have planes till the next few episodes probably. So, yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please leave some suggestions down below for the future episodes, and I will most likely respond to them, unless there's like 15 billion of them, but usually I respond to them if I am satisfied, if I think they're good. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.